back there, I tell you. Now, Dennis, do you find more people being receptive to what you say? Or do you find people being very hesitant to understand or hear what you're saying? Because, you know, there's a difference between hearing with your ears or hearing with your heart.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, the response I get initially will be a little bit of surprise and what are you doing involved in this sort of issue, until I start talking. And if people will simply give me the time to listen and explain what's going on, then I find that most people are very receptive to this issue.
That's good. You know, there are some, though, you know, and there has to be, all right? As much as that I like a lot of folks, and I can deal with a lot of people with different issues and different things, but I know that with some circumstances and some things that people, that they would go through in their life, there's always going to be somebody that is going to pour a cup of cold water on your head and say, well, you know, I know you're fired up about this idea or this thing, so let's just dump water on you. Let's cool you off a bit. You know, the South, all right. I mean, I know a lot of folks in the South, and even some pastors of churches in the South. They're very close-minded that way, and they want and would do everything that they could within their power to shut you down, to sing you out of the church. If you say something or if you do something that they personally have an issue with, and even with this issue and this topic, do you honestly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that Dennis would be able to go into any church or any civic group and openly talk about what he is dealing with? Well, the answer is probably no, because of what it is. And I find there are some, even with our ministry over the years, and even the Who's Your Daddy program, that there are some folks who have been very receptive to it, and some people who have just, oh, that's just another one of those guys. No, I'm not. Trust me, because on this program, you know, I like to have diversity, and I like to demonstrate diversity. Thank you for reminding me. Before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, I want you, wherever that you are, to give us a call and let us know what you think of this program and how it's coming through. Either streaming, I guess we're streaming, and for those of you who are local, but do call us 206. It's a free number. It's just Seattle, 206-736-9688. The number is right there on the screen. And thank you for putting that up. I just forgot about it. But we want to hear from folks, and if you have ideas on other programs, do let us know that also. Now, that's sort of my non-commercial spot. Now, I understand, Dennis, that from time to time that you do meet with lawmakers, legislators, local city council boards. You know, you're known in the governor of Washington's office, Christine Gregoire, and I mean, I totally support Miss Gregoire and what she's doing. I think it's fantastic. You know, she's new at it, so a lot of things are just coming into play as to what Miss Gregoire would even want to do, and so I think that she does have good leadership qualities. But you've got letters and information and notes and things on her desk. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time, and very grateful to have survived what I've survived, to be able to share my story. It makes me feel humble too, in a way. It really does.
Well, a side note, what are you wanting really to do as far as why are you getting a hold of these lawmakers?
Okay, well, I don't know how many people are aware of it, but Washington State has a medical cannabis law. It's actually called medical marijuana law, but I prefer to call it medical cannabis because that is the pharmacological term, and it doesn't quite carry the connotations that marijuana does. So I am trying to promote this law we have in this state in the way of trying to strengthen it a bit. We have a very large movement, if you will, of medical cannabis patients, a loosely formed network. Some of it's not so loose, but there's a large group of people who are medical cannabis patients in this state, and there are some people who could benefit, actually quite a few, who could benefit from medical cannabis who maybe are afraid because of the stereotype of marijuana use to even consider it at all. And they could benefit a great deal from using this alternative medicine. And so I'm trying to spread the word so that these people can understand more about how beneficial this can be, and in order to cut down on the number of other pharmaceutical medications that they may be taking which have strong side effects, for which you might have to take other prescription medicines to fight, and then you end up with a spiral of taking medicine after medicine, counteracting side effects, when you really started off with just one to fight the initial condition. Where instead, many people, not everyone, medical cannabis is not for everyone, but many people can benefit by using medical cannabis instead, and very few side effects. It makes you a little hungry, it might make you a little bit sleepy, but there are none of the other side effects associated with a lot of the pharmaceuticals. And so I'm trying to spread this word to benefit this community. This community has helped me survive a great deal. I'm a long-term survivor of AIDS. I've been HIV positive since March of 1983. I was diagnosed with full-blown AIDS in August of '94, so we're going on 11 years now since I've had full-blown AIDS. I'm also a survivor of stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Not too many people in the past had recovered from even stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And my doctors tell me that the fact that I've been using medical cannabis and haven't needed so many other medications has probably saved my liver. My oncologist told me at one point that she's had other patients that survived the same chemo that I went through, and basically the same struggle I went through with the cancer, only to succumb later to liver failure because of all the pharmaceutical medicines and additional chemo, really, much more than I needed. So in my case, I didn't need all these things, and my liver function is perfectly normal now, which is quite surprising considering what I've been through. And I'm simply trying to share this with other people because I want to give back to my community.
Well, now, what do you think about the lawmakers, legislators, the governor's office? You know, as I mentioned earlier, that Dennis has paper. He's got stuff on the governor's office, and the governor, bless her heart, has opened her office to Dennis, and is more than anxious and more than happy to be able to meet with you. But you know, if I were given that honor, you know, to be able to do that, I think it'd be flawless. Yeah. And you know, I've said before that you know I really would like one of these days to be able to have the honor as a Washingtonian, as a citizen of this state, but also as an American, to be able to go down to our capital here in Washington State and offer the morning prayer. And they do have clergymen that do that. So I just think that it'd be flawless to be able to do that. But you know, there again, to meet the governor, I mean, that's pretty good. But what is your ultimate goal? Now you apparently have already set out in a direction to be able to contact these other people, to be able to open up a roundtable forum, excuse that expression, but where they will be willing to sit down with you and hear what you have to say, and then go from there and be willing. And ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, some of them are so willing already to put some of this stuff down on paper already and get things signed into law, not just in our state, but around the country. And so, you know, I know that you've used the expression to me, and Dennis, bless his heart, he'd tell me, he'd go, well, I don't want to be a guinea pig for anything. Well, in a way, you are, and in a way, I guess tonight we are too, because, you know, being live here for the second live show in the studio, but that's totally different, of course. But what is your primary objective, Dennis?
Well, I would like to strengthen the